Hey, Saturday Nation, Sam Crowley. I want to share with you core component number 2 of the Momentum Club and how that applies to you and having success. So welcome to everybody. If you haven't booked your call, it's at everydaysaturday.com/calendar, talking about your power call to get more about this, the momentum code, and all about action. I want to just share with you, for example, this event that I'm speaking at in LA next month. All right. It's if you're interested, if you want to meet up and hear me speak, I'm with a number of other really great thought leaders. Go to everydaysaturday.com/LA event. It's March 22nd, 2019. It's in LA, and I think it's at the convention center. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, why am I speaking there? Well, I'm speaking on podcasting and launching your, everybody say it with me now, movement. But why would I be talking about podcasting? I've only got 15 million downloads, and that's not a lot. I mean, some people get that in a month, you know? That's the secret sauce. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what people get so caught up in immediately. They go to, well, I don't have, yeah, but I don't got, or I'm not like, and then they just start comparing themselves, and they talk themselves right out of opportunities. I don't think people really would care if I had 15 million downloads or 1,500. I really don't think so. It's the amount of passion that I have for getting the message out in an audio format, a podcast, okay? It's the passion I have for not being average. I mean, podcasting was how I got my start and getting everything out there since 2005. I mean, that was like back in the dinosaur age. I was creating audios, putting them on the internet. Nobody was listening, you know? But that was great because I didn't want anybody to listen because they were terrible. And so I think if people would have actually listened to my podcast back in the day, it probably would have scared the crap out of me, and I would have probably thought too much about it if somebody gave me any feedback, and I would have quit. So thank God nobody was listening back then. But the point was, because you are going to take some sort of action, and you're not like everybody else just talking about it. Hey, someday, one day, and we all know someday, one day aren't on the calendar. Most people are not ever going to get out and off their rusty duff to go launch anything. Because you're actually going to do something, then things start to conspire. Then things start to come into motion, and then people start to meet you at halfway. You know, it's like, wow, if you're going to take a step towards me, I'm going to take a step towards you. You're going to put yourself out there and talk about whatever you're passionate about. I've got an event happening. I'm going to bring you to come speak about my event. Yeah, but how many customers do you have, or how much money? Nobody cares, man. You got to have some sort of credibility, of course. I mean, you have to be able to speak articulately about something, but more, you know, even more than being articulate and making sure you got great slides and everything like that, you know what you really need? You need a hell of a lot of passion, man. You need so much passion that it's just overflowing. And it's got to be controlled, focused passion. You know what I mean? Like, you can't run up on stage or do a live webinar or just go, ah! You scare the crap out of people, man. But you know what you do? Is you have so much passion for something that it oozes out of you, because very few people have this. They pretend like they do, all right? But when you meet them face to face, or if you spend any time around, like, anybody can fake it for a day or two, but can anybody fake it for 15 years? That's the event that I'm speaking at in LA. And that's what I teach people. It's like, why would somebody want me to come speak that doesn't get as many downloads? And I'm taking the other side. Like, I'm playing, like, I think it's amazing. I love podcast. I think I should be speaking on every stage about it. But I'm taking the other side of it, as though, why would somebody bring me along when I don't have, you know, somebody that has more downloads, for example, or makes more money? Doesn't matter, man. People want someone who are going to what? Add value. They're going to deliver the goods. And they're going to do it with a tremendous amount of passion. And they're going to teach good stuff. And at the end, guess what you're allowed to do? Ask people to buy your stuff at whatever product you're selling, whatever service you're selling. This mainly is for speakers, trainers, seminar leaders, but it's also for contractors, plumbers, electricians, retail outlets, hair salons, whatever it is. As soon as you take action, then you get some sort of result. And when you get that result, you can what? You can measure. Was it effective? Was it not? What do I got to tweak? You get better. Your profits get higher. Your expenses get lower because you're making all of these mistakes. Travis says, exactly. So get out of your head or you're dead, number one. So get all this stuff out of your head about, well, I don't know. I'm pretty good. You know, I can do that. No, that's what to action. There's the momentum code. The 4 pillars that I teach are have a vision, take action, get results, gain the belief, go back. Have a vision, take action, gain results, get the belief, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But when you go to take that action, don't do what most people do. You got this all burnt fire burning inside of you. Now you're going to go throw water on it because you feel, and you're measuring against something that I don't even know what you would measure against. I guess somebody you saw on the internet or somebody that you know that's doing it, or I don't know. We go find things to justify why we can't take the action that we need to take. We go find things, we go find people, we go find circumstances. Well, I can't do it Monday because Monday's the day that I'm out of town. I solved the big problem with this podcast. First of all, I'm in my car. Second of all, I podcast from my car. I've got my microphone right here. This is my mic that plugs into my smartphone. This is where I podcast every day. And you talk about one of the most downloaded motivational podcasts on the internet, and I do it from the car. Why do I do it from the car? Because I wanted to eliminate that barrier that everybody gets caught up in. Hey, what kind of equipment do I need? Like, what kind of studio what kind of podcast studio do you have, Sam? I got a car. That's what I got. You got a car? I got a car. What do you even care? Like, nobody that listens to my podcast gives a crap where I'm recording it. As long as it sounds good and it's what they wanted. Like, most people find me going into iTunes and searching motivation. Do it on your phone right now. Just go into iTunes, search motivation. See what podcast comes up number 1 or in the top 5. It's going to be my show. That's all people care about. Is this guy going to inspire me because I wanted motivation when I went on iTunes? That's all they care about. Hey, how long you been doing it? What kind of a microphone you using? Oh, I see. What about the editing? None of that's going. I get a kid. People are caught up in all that stuff, man. What kind of editing you do? Where'd you get your jingle done? You know what? Eventually you can figure all that stuff out. But unless you got passion to do this stuff, it doesn't matter what kind of microphone. It doesn't matter what kind of editing you do, because you can't put perfume on that thing to get the stink out. The stink of average, the stink of complacency, the stink of I don't give a crap, the stink of I'm in it for the money, all of that. There's not enough perfume and air freshener around to get that stink out. But when you've got an incredible amount of passion and then you take a little bit of action, holy cow, man, you're cooking with gas. So quit talking about, well, I'm going to someday, one day, or I'm going to get butt. Nobody would ever want me to speak. Check out that event. I'd love to meet you. If you're going to be in LA next month, go to everydaysaturday.com/LA event. All right. Check it out. If you can make it there, awesome. We'll take a photo, chat a little bit. But if you can't, take this message with you all day, every day, and understand that once you start taking action, good things happen. If you don't do anything, obviously, nothing's going to happen. Just everything's going to still be the same. It's March 2019. It'll be March 2025. And you'll still be talking about the same stuff that you were talking about 6 years before that. Don't do that. Don't be like that's how most people go, man. That's how most people go through life. Don't be like most people. And if you choose not to be like most people, you're going to get results that most people don't get. All right? You feel me? All right, guys. Have an amazing rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow.